Shentung Men, behind the mountain. On the originally empty mountain, a young man lay quietly on the ground. This person is bloodied and devoid of vitality. It is more appropriate to describe it as a corpse than a person. Suddenly, this lifeless corpse sat up straight like a corpse. What? Who am I? Where am I? Lin Feng's face was stubborn, and he stubbornly covered his head. The severe tingling from his brain almost made him faint. After a while, Lin Feng took a heavy breath. Ji Lao Tzu, I actually crossed it. As the sting dissipated, Lin Feng had completely received the memory of the original owner of this body. This kid was originally called Lin Feng, but it was a pity that he ended up in a miserable way, and he was blinded by his name. Lin Feng smiled bitterly and shook his head. This Lin Feng miserable is really miserable, and he ended up being killed by the design of his fiancée and lover. Not to mention the green grassland above his head, even his life came in. Tisk, I'm afraid this brother hatred won't be able to avenge you. Brother's little arms and legs can't stand the toss of you fairy characters. Lin Feng helplessly spread his hands. Through the memory of the original owner of the body, Lin Feng learned that his fiancée Chen Wanner had an unusual talent and entered the 9th level of the returning market realm at a young age. As for Chen Wanner's concubine, Zhou Xiaotian, it is even more remarkable. Not only does he have a father who is the current master of the magical power gate, but his own strength has reached the 3rd level of the golden body. But Lin Feng himself was only the 3rd layer of the body tempering realm. The martial realm of this endemon continent is roughly divided into 9 realms of body tempering, concentration, return to the ruins, golden body, transcendence, nirvana, good fortune, broken air, and emergence of flying immortals. Each level is divided into 9 levels. Lin Wanner was already on the 9th level of returning to the market realm with only 20 Feng Hua, and looking at the entire Tianyan Empire, she was considered a genius. Not to mention Zhou Xiaotian, he was even hailed as one of the 4 great masters of the Tianyan Empire. Speaking of it, the original owner of the body was very sad, and the luck of Lin Feng, the traveler, was not much better. The soul traveled through the body of this unlucky person, and made himself covered with scars, and there was no good meat in his whole body. Even in the years to come, it may be targeted by Chen Wanner's couple of dogs and men. Lin Feng smiled bitterly, struggling to get up from the ground, accidentally involved the bone wound in the calf, and couldn't help taking a breath. Ding! The host successfully activated the rage-devouring system. Congratulations to the host for getting a newbie gift package. The newbie gift package is automatically opened. Congratulations to the host for gaining the Profound Iron Sword +1, the Golden Sword Medicine +5, and the Concentration Pill +5. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the gifted Supernatural Power, the Power of Rage. Raging Power, 3 times the Strength bonus, 3 times the Agility bonus, 3 times the Defense bonus after activation, duration 30 minutes, cooling time 24 hours. The sudden series of system prompts shook Lin Feng dumbly on the spot. When he came back to his senses, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but evoke an arc of evil charm. That's the truth, the Traverser doesn't have a golden finger and he's a fart. Lin Feng was in a good mood, and immediately took out a bottle of golden sore medicine from the system backpack. The injury is so serious, I don't know if this thing works. Lin Feng poured out a crystal clear medicine and swallowed it directly into his abdomen with his neck raised. It is also weird. With this pill entering his abdomen, the bone wound on Lin Feng's body is deeply healed with a trend visible to the naked eye. Special, the system is produced, the effect is good. Lin Feng was overjoyed, and quickly put the remaining pill into the system backpack. However, after a short time, Lin Feng's wounds had basically healed, and a carp stood upright. Just about to step away from this gloomy forest, a sudden feeling of palpitations rose from my heart. Lin Feng trembled all over, turning his head to look subconsciously. But I saw a colorful tiger staring at him with its bloodthirsty and brutal eyes. Saber-toothed tiger, Tier 2 monster. A piece of information appeared in Lin Feng's mind, and he was so startled that he almost sat on the ground. You must know that the strength of the second-order monster beast is comparable to the existence of the cultivator at the peak of the concentrating state. Moreover, most of the monsters have thick skin, and the practitioners often lose more and win less in close hand-to-hand combat. Without giving Lin Feng time to react, the saber-toothed tiger let out a low growl, opened his mouth and bit at his neck. Kill! Lin Feng was shocked and not chaotic, activated the power of violent the first time. At the same time, the mysterious iron sword appeared in the palm of his right hand out of thin air, sweeping across the army, pointing directly at the throat of the saber-toothed tiger. The second-order monster has already derived a certain amount of wisdom. This saber-toothed tiger has forcibly changed its attack mode, fighting with its claws, and suffered heavy losses, and it has to come on Lin Feng. In a fierce battle that lasted nearly half an hour, Lin Feng consumed a whole bottle of gold sore medicine, and this was the second-order monster to death. As the saying goes, misfortune comes with blessing, and blessing comes with misfortune. Just after experiencing a life and death crisis, Lin Feng ushered in a big chance. At the moment the saber-toothed tiger was successfully killed, the familiar system prompt sounded in due course. Congratulations to the host for successfully killing a Tier 2 monster saber-toothed tiger and gaining plus 1000 profound energy. Congratulations on the breakthrough of the host martial art realm. The current realm is the 5th level of the body tempering realm. Congratulations to the host for getting the one-time item Soul Eater +1. Congratulations to the host for completing the first kill and successfully activating the character panel function. The host's personal information is as follows. Name, Lin Feng. Race, Terran. Level 5 of Body Tempering Realm. Life, 500 Physical Strength, 30% Strength, 10 Physique, 10 Agility, 5 Spirit, 5 Perception, 5 Talented Supernatural Powers, Rage Power. Ding! The body of a Tier 2 monster saber-toothed tiger is detected. Is it refined? After experiencing the initial astonishment and hearing the familiar system prompt again, Lin Feng was no longer surprised, and did not hesitate to issue the command refining. Given order. In the next moment, the monster beast lying on the icy ground immediately faded in a strange and unpredictable way, and finally disappeared. At the same time, Lin Feng only felt that there was a strange and refreshing feeling from the inside out, and he could hardly help letting out a low groan. At this moment, the familiar tone sounded again. Congratulations to the host for successfully refining the second-order monster saber-toothed tiger and acquiring a new skill, Insight. Congratulations to the host for gaining +1, Bashful, gain permanent strength +5 after use Shen Tung Men, Tanjue Feng. There was a young man walking along a certain small path. The young man lowered his head slightly, a blood coat swaying in the wind, looking extremely crippled. Needless to say, the boy is Lin Feng. Lin Feng, who had tasted the sweetness from the system, actually didn't want to leave that dense forest so soon. The Tier 2 monster in the forest was a resource for him and a symbol of strength. Just considering that there are not only second-order monsters in the forest, but also third-order, fourth-order, and even higher-order monsters. Coupled with his violent power entering a cooling state, even if he encounters an ordinary Tier 2 monster, his chances of winning are not great. Reluctantly, Lin Feng could only hold back the impulse in his heart and choose the original path to return to the sect. Just before he could go far, a figure in front of him suddenly broke into his field of vision. Wang Lin? How could this kid appear here? Lin Feng squinted his eyes slightly, and his heart was full of energy. Wang Lin is Zhou Xiaoshan's #1 dog leg. He appeared in this place where the birds don't shit. There is no good thing. 8 achievements are for himself. On the other side, when Wang Lin saw Lin Feng, his eyes flashed with surprise, but he smiled strangely. Brother Zhou is really nothing, guessing that your kid is not dead, so I specially arranged for me to give you make it up. You want to kill me? Lin Feng stretched his finger around and said meaningfully, the magical gates prohibit mutual cannibalism. Do you dare to kill me? Wang Lin laughed, as if he heard the funniest joke in the world. He pointed to Lin Feng's nose and said, "The sect is forbidden to mutilate with the same family, but there are too few people to kill you. Throw it into the forest to feed the monster beast, who knows this is my work." 10,000 steps back, I'm working for senior brother Zhou, even if things are revealed, do you think that Zongmen will punish me for a dead person, thus offending senior brother Zhou, the proud man of heaven? It seems reasonable. Lin Feng nodded thoughtfully. Before he finished his words, a cold light that could not be caught by the naked eye flashed from his fingertips. This cold light is a one-time item given to him by the system, Soul Eater. Soul Eater nailed into the body, Wang Lin still kept the smile that Zhizu was holding on his face, but his body fell into a strange state of stiffness. You said Zhou Xiaotian counts as an exhaustive plan, then do you think he counts that you will die in my hands? Lin Feng shrugged, his face was harmless. The vitality that Wang Lin had not yet dissipated was finally completely annihilated after hearing these words. The whole person was like a puppet with a broken wire, falling straight to the ground. Lin Feng breathed a long sigh of relief after witnessing the death of the enemy. He also didn't expect that the Soul Eater nails rewarded by the system would be so terrifying. This Wang Lin was qualified to serve as Zhou Xiaoshan's #1 dogleg, and his strength would naturally not be weak, but he was already a strong man on the 7th level of the concentration realm. However, it is such a master who is not too big and not too small, when facing the raid of Soul Eater nails, he has no power to parry him. Lin Feng even faintly felt that using Soul Eater to kill Wang Lin might be a little overkill. After thinking about it, he was relieved. After all, no matter how good a foreign object is, it has to be ordered. If you don't really want to use the Soul Eater nail, Wang Lin is the front, I'm afraid it is Lin Feng who fell on the ground. Sweeping his eyes, he was still arrogant and domineering, but at this moment he has become a so-called fellow brother with a cold corpse. Lin Feng's face is calm and there is no wave in his heart. Perhaps because of the integration with Lin Feng's memory, Lin Feng instinctively realized that this place is no longer the former legal society, and there is no legal protection. The continent of gods and demons is a world where strength is respected. Natural selection and survival of the fittest are vividly demonstrated here. Lin Feng Phaeton did not feel uncomfortable for the first time killing, but instead he felt a heartfelt joy in his heart. Be happy with your grudges, and do whatever you don't. This is probably the true emotion hidden deep in his heart. Depressing the distracting thoughts in his heart, Lin Feng quickly focused his attention on the violent devouring system. Congratulations to the host for successfully killing a strong person in the concentration realm and gaining plus 1000 profound energy. Congratulations on the breakthrough of the host martial art realm. The current realm is the 6th level of the body tempering realm. Congratulations to the host for getting the one-time prop, Golden Bell +1. Congratulations to the host for getting Zisui Pill +1. Congratulations to the host for getting the Silk Inner Armor +1. Personal attributes: name, Lin Feng. Race, Terran. Level 6 of body tempering realm. Life, 700. Physical strength, 100% strength, 12 physique, 12 agility, 6 spirit, 5 perception, 5 talented supernatural powers, raging power. Special effects, insight, speed. Assault. Looking at his personal attributes, Lin Feng's mouth turned slightly. Killing and getting rich is really the best way to make a fortune. After killing Wang Lin, Lin Feng had no waves on his next journey. All the way back to the little hut that belongs to him without any surprises. The moment he opened the door, the cold light flashed in Lin Feng's eyes. How long has it been since I left, when someone broke into his house openly? Fortunately, there are no valuable objects in this house. Threw himself upright on a crude bamboo bed. What happened today is so bizarre, he needs to sort his thoughts. Originally, he didn't want to get involved in the dispute between Zhou Xiaotian and the others. It wasn't until Wang Lin bluntly wanted to kill himself that Lin Feng realized how ridiculous his previous thoughts were. He didn't want to cause trouble to his upper body, but he didn't know that when his soul passed through Lin Feng's body, he had to take over the old grievances and hatreds for Lin Feng. The current situation seemed to be calm, but Lin Feng knew that this was just the tranquility before the storm. Even if he is only avenging his top dogleg and establishing his own majesty, Xiao Tian will definitely not let him go this week. We must improve our strength as soon as possible. Lin Feng's brain is running fast, and it is not his temperament to sit and wait for death. It's so easy to cross this continent of gods and demons. How can he die in the hands of Zhou Xiaotian when he is showing his grand plans? After thinking for a while, Lin Feng suddenly came to light. When refining the body of a Tier 2 monster beast in that jungle, the system didn't reward him with a lot of resources. Will this be a shortcut for him to quickly improve his strength? Lin Feng acted vigorously, with a certain idea, and immediately set off for the Tianyan Empire. In fact, there are a large number of ready-made monster beast bodies in the Pill Alchemy Pavilion of the Supernatural Power Sect. Zhou Xiaoshan's eyes are open to the sky in the Supernatural Power Gate, and nothing can be hidden from his eyes. Before his own strength is not strong, it is best not to let him discover his whole cards. Shenaya Peak, one of the 9 main peaks of Shentong Gate. Not long after Lin Feng left the Shentong Gate, in a magnificent palace in Shenaya Feng, more than a dozen people were sitting around a round wooden table, pushing cups and changing cups, chatting and laughing. The person who sits in the main seat has star brows and sword's eyes, and his arms are magnificent, and his every move reveals the domineering attitude of the world. This person is not bystander, but Zhou Xiaotian, the proud son of the gods. The wine on the table was full of spirits, and a figure suddenly rushed in. The voice had been heard before the person arrived. Something happened. What's so flustered? Zhou Xiaotian put down the wine glass. The murderous intent flashed in his eyes. Anyone who knows him knows that besides beautiful women, his greatest interest in his life is drinking. The most disgusting thing is being disturbed at the wine table. Wang Lun was also aware of his gaffe, and he quickly confessed his guilt, bending over and whispering something in Zhou Xiaoshan's ear. After Zhou Xiaotian listened, his expression remained unchanged, but a cold light flashed in his eyes. Lin Feng, this kid is not dead. Since he can return to the sect safely and unharmed, Wang Lin is afraid that it will be too bad for him. Zhou Xiaoshan's eyes flickered slightly, not knowing what he was thinking. When Wang Lun heard this, his eyes immediately turned red. He and Wang Lin are brothers, and the reason why he rushed to report the situation is because he was worried about the safety of his elder brother Wang Lin. Sure enough, Wang Lun was naturally distraught when he heard that his eldest brother had an accident. You know, the reason why he can get away with the magical power gate is also due to his elder brother. The eldest brother was in trouble. He only felt that the world was falling apart, as if all the good things in the world were far away from him. Wang Lin is doing things for me. Now that something happens to him, I will naturally seek justice for him. Zhou Xiaoshan's tone was slightly slow. While speaking, he had taken something out of his arms and threw it to Wang Lun. He calmly said, "This earth-shaking seal can be used by you. You will avenge your elder brother yourself. I am responsible." Wang Lun's eyes were red, and he carefully hid the heaven-shaking seal close to his body, then gave a deep salute and said respectfully, "Thank you, Brother Zhou. Wang Lun is going to kill Lin Feng's bastard." As soon as Wang Lun left, the atmosphere that was still slightly depressed instantly dissipated. Obviously, Wang Lin was dead or alive. The people, including Zhou Xiaotian, didn't care much. The reason why he borrowed the heaven-shaking seal to Wang Lun was just a trick to buy people's hearts. After all, it depends on the owner to beat a dog. If a dog is killed by someone, if the owner does not say anything, it will only make other running dogs chill. Senior brother Zhou, didn't Lin Feng be killed by senior sister Chen herself? Is it possible that senior sister Chen missed her old feelings and didn't kill that kid? Li Yuanhao faintly glanced at the coquettish woman who was sitting at Zhou Xiaoshan's hand. His eyes were rather playful. Dare to use this tone to tease Chen Wan'er, this Li Yuanhao's status is naturally not low, but the only child of the super elder, even Zhou Xiaotian has to give him a bit of face. When everyone in the sitting room heard this, there was a faint smile on their faces. As we all know, Chen Wan'er is Lin Feng's fiancé. If it were not for Lin's family misfortune, and was slaughtered overnight, Chen Wan'er's marriage to Lin Feng would be a sure thing. Having said that, the Lin family, as one of the top aristocratic families of the Tianyuan Empire, was razed to the ground overnight. Who is it, or which force has such strength? There are different opinions on this point, but there is still no clear conclusion. Nothing like that. Lin Feng is not dead, so he can only be considered dead. Zhou Xiaotian saw that Chen Wan'er's face was unsightly, and immediately waved his hand and smiled and said roundly, "After all, the Lin family has some background, and it is understandable that Lin Feng, as the young master of the Lin family, has a few life-saving methods in his hands." Li Yuanhao shook his head and laughed, "Shit, young master of the Lin family, the Lin family has already become history. But, speaking of it, this kid is also a fortune teller. On the night of the Lin family's destruction of the gate, this kid happened to be nestled in the supernatural power gate to practice, and he escaped by luck. Later, he escaped from junior sister Chen and ascended to heaven, and then it is even more likely that Wang Lin would be killed by him. Tisk tusk, I now suspect that even if Wang Lun holds brother Zhou, your superb spiritual weapon, it may not be able to kill Lin Feng." Zhou Xiaotian was silent, but Chen Wan'er got up suddenly, a murderous intent appeared on a delicate little face, and said in a deep voice, "Brother Zhou, should I go with Wang Lun? I can kill Lin Feng once. Kill him a second time." Zhou Xiaotian shook his head lightly, and patted the fur chair under Chen Wan'er to signal her to stay calm, and smiled loudly, "Lin Feng is just a clown who can't get over many waves. Even if Wang Lun can't take care of him, I still have some postponements waiting for him. There is no need to let you do it yourself." The words were divided into two parts. Wang Lun rushed to Lin Feng's residence as fast as possible with the heaven-shaking seal, but seeing that people had already gone to the building, he was very anxious, and immediately chased him along the only passage of Tanjua Peak. Lin Feng, who was out of magical power, didn't know that someone behind him was chasing him frantically. Raising the sword with his hand, he killed an ordinary giant python that actively rushed towards him without opening his eyes. Lin Feng was about to take out the inner bladder of the python to replenish his body, and suddenly there was a slight throbbing in his heart. The subtle sensing of human surveillance. This feeling is very bad, like a viper behind him, ready to make a fatal blow at any time. "Your Excellency has followed me all the way, aren't you tired?" Lin Feng stopped and looked around inadvertently, but secretly cast out insight for the first time. "No one." Lin Feng raised his brows slightly, and found no clues within the scope of the insight technique. "There are only two possibilities in this situation. Either you are suspicious. Either the other party's hidden location has exceeded the scope of insight. Is it really just an illusion?" Lin Feng shook his head and was about to continue on his way. However, at this moment, a strong heart palpitation surged into my heart. At the same time, it was suddenly black. Lin Feng looked up subconsciously, but saw that a huge Fang Tian seal appeared on top of his head, which was suppressing at his speed. Fuck! Lin Feng was mentally prepared for such a terrifying attack. He was still shaken by the shock, and his calves couldn't help but shiver. The Fang Tian seal above his head is like a huge mountain, and he can't breathe just because of this turbulent momentum. Lin Feng's slightly thin posture is about to be crushed into meat by Fang Tian's great seal. At this critical moment, Lin Feng's mind turned, and an invisible barrier that was difficult to capture with the naked eye instantly enveloped his entire body. With a deafening roar, Lin Feng only felt that his body was short, and his whole body was suppressed deep underground by the big seal on his head. After a while, a ruiao voice came into Lin Feng's ears. "Tisk! This earth-shaking seal is worthy of the best spirit weapon, and its power is so terrifying." Just this time, I'm afraid that Lin Feng's smashed pieces will not even have bones left. When the voice fell, Lin Feng only felt lightened all over, and the big seal suppressed on his head finally disappeared. Caught you! Murderous intent appeared in Lin Feng's eyes, and the moment when insight caught the opponent's breath, the speed assault was suddenly launched. Wow! Lin Feng's figure is illusory in an instant, directly transforming the afterimage of his debut, and rushing towards the target. When his figure appeared again, he had already appeared behind Wang Lun. Why, how could this be? Wang Lun tightly covered his neck with his hands, but he couldn't stop the blood pouring from his fingers. A pair of gloomy eyes revealed endless unwillingness, fear, and perplexity that could not be understood until death. Why are there so many? Lin Feng shook his head, pulling out a sword flower from the profound iron sword in his hand, and the tip of the sword plunged straight into Wang Lun's heart, completely ending his short and fragile life. Congratulations to the host for successfully killing a concentration realm powerhouse and gaining plus 1000 profound energy. Congratulations on the breakthrough of the host martial art realm. The current realm is the 7th level of the body tempering realm. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the life-saving pill plus 5. Congratulations to the host for getting the cloak of innocence plus 1. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the stunt, flame slash, launch a thunderous blow at the target, retreat, and cause real damage of 10% of the target's maximum health. Cooling time 2 minutes. Is it refined? The best spirit weapon. Lin Feng's eyes lit up, and then he discovered that the corpse on the ground was still holding on to the seal even though it had died. Obviously, this guy used this impression to attack him earlier. Thinking of the monstrous power of the big seal earlier, Lin Feng has a bit of a cold neck until now. If this Nima hits a few more times, the gods will not be able to save him. After all, he only has one golden bell, and after a few more shots, he really can't stand it. Refining. Without any hesitation, Lin Feng directly chose refining. The power of this earth-shaking seal was terrifying, but Lin Feng knew well that his martial art realm was still too low. You may not be able to keep it empty if you have weapons of magical weapons. The top priority is to improve your own strength as soon as possible. Boom! As soon as the instruction was delivered, a strange warmth immediately rushed towards the forehead along the limbs. At the same time, a torrent of vigor spontaneously spouted from Lin Feng's body. For a moment, Lin Feng only felt that a certain in his body was quietly opened. Congratulations to the host for successfully refining the top-grade spiritual weapon and gaining plus 10,000 profound energy. Congratulations to the host for the breakthrough in the martial art realm. The current realm is the 2nd level of the concentrating spirit realm. Congratulations to the host for gaining Hero Gall plus 1, Hero Gall, gain permanent strength plus 20 after use. Congratulations to the host for breaking through the seal of the 5 elements. The martial arts talent has been restored, and the current martial arts talent level is 9th rank. The previous series of system prompts passed into Lin Feng's ears that were comparable to the sounds of nature, but the last sentence made him puzzled by the 2nd-year-old monk. With martial arts talent, he knows that where there are people, there are rivers and lakes, where there are rivers and lakes, there is competition, and if there is competition, there will be rankings. Martial arts talents are naturally divided into levels, from bottom to top. They are 1st rank, 2nd rank, 3rd rank, to the last 9th rank. It is said that there is still an immortal rank above the 9th rank, and even the talent above the immortal rank. Of course, talents of that level only exist in legends, and no one has appeared in this world so far. But what is this 5 elements sealing array? Could it be that you? No. More accurately said that the original owner of this body was once sealed with martial arts talent? If this is the case, everything will make sense. The former Lin family was the top aristocratic family of the Tianyan Empire. Lin Hongtao, the head of the Lin family, was also Lin Feng's father. He was a super powerhouse in Nirvana during his lifetime. As the young master of the Lin family, Lin Feng is still struggling at the 3rd level of body tempering when he is nearly 20 years old. If there is no trickiness in it, it is really unreasonable. Wanting to understand the ins and outs of the matter, Lin Feng was overjoyed. Just about to doze off, someone brought a pillow. He was trying to quickly improve his strength, and his cultivation talent jumped directly to the 9th rank. With the thought, Lin Feng used the courage of the hero who had just received it together with the courage he had previously obtained, and his strength immediately increased by a large amount. Name: Lin Feng. Race: Terran level, concentration level 2 life, 1500 physical strength, 100% strength, 50 physique, 20 agility, 10 spirit, 5 perception, 5 talented supernatural powers, raging power stunts, insight, speed assault, flame slash. Looking at his personal attributes, Lin Feng only felt that the future was bright. Of course, excitement goes to excitement. This improvement was not enough to make him feel complacent. Lin Feng knew that as his strength increased, the enemies he faced would become more powerful. He has already encountered 2 pig-like enemies like Wang Lin, and he may not be so lucky to meet the 3rd, 4th. All in all, there is a long way to go. After packing up his mood, Lin Feng once again embarked on the journey to the Tianyuan Empire. 3 days later, Lin Feng finally came to Qingfeng City, the closest city to Shentong Gate. Qingfeng City is well known throughout the Tianyuan Empire. The city wall is tens of feet high, and the rows of well-trained city guards outside the city wall all show their majestic and solemn aura. Lin Feng rushed all the way to this Qingfeng City, about to cross the gate, but was blocked by 2 burly guards. After some inquiries, Lin Feng knew that he had to pay a city fee to enter Qingfeng City. He walked in a hurry before, and he didn't bring any yellow and white things, so he was a bit embarrassed for a while. "I'll hand it in for him." When he was tangled, a beautiful shadow passed by him, and at the same time 2 bulging money bags had fallen firmly in the hands of the guard. "Then what? Thank you." Lin Feng hurriedly followed up, and when he took a closer look, he found that this kind girl was quite beautiful, with a pink and round face and a pair of big sly eyes, indescribably lovely. "What are you doing with me?" The round-faced girl glanced at Lin Feng, and her tone was full of vigilance, as if she was on guard against an unhealthy stranger. Nothing, just want to thank you." Lin Feng touched his nose. Even though his looks are not handsome, fake ones can be regarded as delicate. Now he was so disgusted by others, which undoubtedly caused his self-esteem to suffer 10,000 crit. "Oh, it's just a small effort, don't follow me anymore." The round-faced girl Chuandang didn't see the suffocation in Lin Feng's eyes. She dropped her toes on the ground and jumped a few times in the air. She quickly disappeared from the spot. Murong Hunxiu returned to the 2nd floor of the ruins realm. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows, and through insight, he had roughly understood the relevant information about the round-faced girl before, and his expression was a little complicated. It seems that this Qingfeng City is really a hidden dragon and crouching tiger. Anyone you encounter is a strong person in the market. You must find the body of the monster beast as soon as possible to improve your strength. The road went smoothly, and Lin Feng inevitably made his heels flutter. Now that he met Murong Hunxiu, he suddenly realized that he was still too young, and with a little bit of strength, he couldn't tell the difference between the north and the south. After a little inquiries, Lin Feng quickly came to the door of an auction house called Tianyuan. After some setbacks, when Lin Feng saw the steward of the auction house, he straightforwardly said that he had collected a lot of monsters and had to live and die. "Buy and sell this stuff, negotiate a good price and everything is easy to say. Don't say it is a monster, the stars can be picked off for you." The steward smiled and nodded. "We still have a lot of inventory of Tier 1 and Tier 2 monsters. There are more than a dozen of Tier 3 and Tier 4 monsters. Do you pay with gold coins?" Lin Feng had an abdomen draft in his mind, immediately took out 2 bottles of Jinchuang medicine, and smiled calmly, "Exchange this thing." The steward who served Lin Feng was a fat middle-aged fat man. The fat man smiled all over his face, but his narrow eyes flashed through the aisles from time to time. At first glance, he knew that this must be a treacherous smiling tiger. He glanced at the 2 crystal bottles that the young man had taken out. The manager raised his brows slightly, and said tentatively, "This is holy medicine for healing." Lin Feng smiled indifferently. Before he could say anything, he directly took out the black iron sword and made a blood mark on his arm in front of this manager. Immediately in the manager's surprised eyes, he poured out a golden sore medicine and swallowed it into his abdomen. Jinchuang medicine melts in the mouth, and at the same time, the wound on Lin Feng's arm is healing rapidly with a visible trend. No need to explain too much, this scene is enough to explain everything. The steward witnessed that the mouth on Lin Feng's arm was basically healed in just a few moments, and the smile that was habitually on his face disappeared. His eyes were full of incredible. "Your Excellency is an alchemist." After returning to his senses, he took a closer look at Lin Feng, and his tone still showed unconcealed surprise. Lin Feng was a little surprised when he heard the words. His face was still calm, and he nodded faintly, "Exactly, I don't know how many monsters can be exchanged for my 2 bottles of 19 gold medicines." As Lin Feng admits, the look of surprise in Guanxi's eyes is even stronger. He pondered for a moment, and then he smiled, "Since your Excellency is a noble alchemist, our Tianyun auction house will naturally not let you suffer. How about this, on behalf of the auction house, I exchange 10 second-order monsters and 5 third-order monsters for the 2 bottles of pills in your hand. Are you satisfied?" Lin Feng lowered his head slightly, making a look of serious thinking, but his heart was happy. 10 second-tier monsters, plus 5 third-tier monsters, not to mention enough to make his strength a qualitative breakthrough, at least the overall combat power can be raised by a notch. There was just a potential problem. His current strength was not enough to kill tier 3 monsters. Since it can't be killed, what about refining? Mindful of this, Lin Feng raised his head to look at the steward, and said nonchalantly, "Yes, but I have a small condition, that is, I hope your auction house can temporarily provide a clean secret room. By the way, kill those monsters and send them to the secret room." The manager laughed when he heard the words, "This is simple." Then he changed his tone and said mysteriously, "If I'm not mistaken, you are preparing for alchemy? Hey, our auction house has a alchemy room specially provided for alchemists. If you don't dislike it, I can arrange a trip for you. The best alchemy furnace." Su Shi saw Lin Feng's hesitation, and the steward quickly explained with a smile, "You can rest assured that our alchemy room is absolutely closed to the outside, and we promise that no one will be disturbed. The implication is that no one will secretly learn your alchemy techniques even if you make alchemy with peace of mind." When it comes to this, Lin Feng also has no reason to refuse, and immediately nodded and smiled, then bothered to take care of things. On this day, the efficiency of the Yun auction house was really not covered, and before a while, Lin Feng followed the steward to a quiet alchemy room. At this moment, the huge alchemy room was filled with the corpses of monsters. Lin Feng swept around and found that there were no fewer than 20 monsters. "Oh, the living monster beast is worth more than the dead monster beast. Your Excellency is to use the monster beast to refine alchemy. Naturally, the number must be mentioned higher." This superb skill in observing words and colors, after seeing Lin Feng's surprise, immediately explained with a smile. "Okay, then thank you for being in charge." Lin Feng arched his hands, thanking him for his kindness. After sending the steward away, Lin Feng cast insight for the first time, and when he didn't perceive any abnormalities, he set about refining the monsters in this place. Congratulations to the host for successfully refining a tier 2 monster and gaining Snake Gall +1. Congratulations to the host for successfully refining. Congratulations to the host. A series of system prompts sounded like the sound of nature coming into Lin Feng's ears one after another. This kind of openness that clearly felt his own strength skyrocketed. He wanted to make him roar to the sky. After all the monsters were refined, Lin Feng only felt that his body was full of explosive power. Like a punch, it can make the world collapse and make the gods tremble. Suppressing such unrealistic assumptions, Lin Feng smiled and quickly opened the character panel. Name, Lin Feng. Race, Terran. Level, 1st floor of the Ruins Realm. Life, 2500. Physical strength, 100% strength, 120 physique, 60 agility, 30 spirit, 5 perception, 5 talented supernatural powers, raging power. Special skills, insight, speed assault, flame slash, earth escape, frozen fist. Niang Zipai, she has improved so much. Lin Feng was overjoyed. He didn't expect that after refining these monsters, his martial art realm would have crossed a big realm, breaking from the concentrating state to the ruins realm in one fell swoop. In addition, after using the various rewards given by the snake gall and ox gall systems, his attributes have also been greatly improved. What's more terrifying is that at this moment, he has mastered dozens of skills. With so many unique skills, even if he encounters a powerhouse one level higher than him, he may not have the power to fight. Lin Feng's fighting spirit is high, and he can't wait to find Zhou Xiaotian to compete now. After finally suppressing the throbbing in his heart, Lin Feng thought for a moment, then sat cross-legged, and started the practice Lin Feng once practiced 9 turns Chaos Ju. The 9 ranks of Chaos Judgment was taught to him by Lin Feng himself, and the boy Lin Feng had been practicing before he died, and he did not slack in the slightest. Do you have to do a full set of plays? Since it is alchemy, can't it be done in 3 or 5 strokes? Lin Feng had nothing to do in his leisure time, so he naturally had to practice hard, and he had the right to cultivate his character. Time passed quickly, and half a month passed in a blink of an eye. In the alchemy room, Lin Feng suddenly opened his eyes, and the light in his eyes flashed away. After half a month of concentrated practice, although his martial art realm has not made a breakthrough, he has already faintly touched the bottleneck of the 2nd level of the Gigzu realm. The breakthrough is only a matter of time. Lin Feng didn't know how quickly others were practicing, but he was rather dissatisfied with his level of improvement. What's so great? It's still a pleasure to refine the monster beast, that strength is like a rocket, and it jumps up. Lin Feng muttered to himself, then got up and walked out of the alchemy room. Lin Feng had just stepped out of the training room, and not far away, a maid walked over to him quickly. She bowed and said respectfully, and then said respectfully, "The son." Zhang Guan had a warning in advance, and the son can do it after he leaves. Leave by yourself, or go to the reception hall to talk to him about other transactions. Lin Feng nodded, and after indulging for a moment, he decided to find this steward to make a bigger deal. If the next transaction is completed, it means that he will form a long-term cooperative relationship with Tianyun Auction House in the coming days. When I saw the steward Zhang again, his chubby face was still filled with enthusiasm, but Lin Feng always felt that the fat man's eyes looked something wrong with him. Guanxi apparently also noticed his gaffe, so he cleared his voice and sneered, "Congratulations on your strength." When Lin Feng heard this, his heart was aroused. What's the matter? I really am still too young. The martial art realm has improved so quickly, I don't even know to cover up 1 or 2. Lin Feng was secretly annoyed, but smiled on his lips. The exercises I practice are a bit special, which makes Guanxi laugh. Guanxi is also a good person. Although he was shocked to the point at this moment, he did not continue to question the matter. Instead, he took out an old and yellowed cheat book from his arms, smiled and handed it to Lin Feng, and said softly, "This is a heavenly secret technique. After learning this technique, you can conceal the qi machine and cut off the prying eyes of outsiders. It may be useful to you. As the saying goes, no merit is not rewarded." Although Lin Feng desperately wants to obtain this cheat book, his face is still calm. He is also a green pill from his arms, and he laughs. "My pill is called for washing. The marrow pill has the effect of removing impurities from the body and enhancing the martial arts talent." As soon as he said this, Zhang Guanxi's expression suddenly changed. A fat face twitched slightly from shock, and his small eyes were now narrowed into a slit. "Your words are serious. Zhang Guanxi swallowed, subconsciously going to the marrow pill in front of him. Lin Feng moved without a trace to avoid Zhang Guanxi's restless pig's hoof. He smiled. Naturally, it is true. I wonder if your company is interested in eating this marrow pill? I said in advance, I will wash it. The marrow pill is very valuable, and it is not comparable to a mere heavenly secret technique. Guanxi Zhang was obviously quite excited about the Zisui pill, but he didn't know how effective it was, and for a while, he didn't know how much price it should be. Lin Feng also saw the other party's entanglement, his wrist flicked, and the Zisui pill whirled and flew towards Zhang Guanxi. You will know how effective you are, and you will know what the price should be at that time, you can figure it out. Hey? You are not afraid that if I swallow this marrow pill, I will turn my face and refuse to admit it. Guanxi took over the pills in a hurry, his eyes were extremely complicated. Since this pill is so precious, why did the boy in front of him throw it to himself like throwing garbage? Lin Feng didn't care and shrugged. I think Guanxi Zhang is also open-minded, and he can't turn his face for a pill. What's more, I can refine the pill without me. If the reputation of Tianyun auction house is gone, it will be difficult to find it again. Guanxi was silent, and he reluctantly handed the medicine back to Lin Feng after a while. Lin Feng was stunned, not understanding what this fat man meant. This matter is very relevant. I need to contact the chairman and let the chairman decide. Can you wait a moment? Zhang Guanxi asked tentatively. Lin Feng was a little dumbfounded, and he didn't expect that a mere pill would alarm the president of the auction house. The problem is that he himself doesn't know how effective this marrow pill is. In case of an oolong, he really doesn't know how to end it. It's just that the arrow is already on the line at this moment and I have to send it. Lin Feng could only bite the bullet. He smiled and said, then wait. The president of Tianyun auction house didn't let Lin Feng wait for long. It was just a cup of tea, so she rushed to Guanxi Zhang and said, Zhang Tianbao, who do you think has the pill to improve martial arts talent? Guanxi Zhang obviously respected and feared his own president, but when he heard this voice, he was shocked all over his body. President, it is this little friend. Guanxi Zhang touched his nose, and quickly cast his plea for help to Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't expect that the president of the Tianyun auction house was a woman, and she was still a coquettish beauty with a beautiful face. I have seen. Lin Feng gave a dry cough and was about to say hello, but there was a sudden flower in front of him. When he reacted, the washing marrow pill in his hand had already fallen into the hands of this beautiful president. What a pure pill! Sun Yingying just glanced at the pill in her hand, a look of surprise flashed across her face instantly. This pill, where did you come from? Until then, Sun Yingying was finally willing to look up at the forest breeze. What to do with you? Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly, his tone was flat, but there was an unknown fire in his heart. Does this woman really take herself seriously? Without asking a question, he would directly rob him. Such an act was already provoking his authority. If he didn't know he was not an opponent, he couldn't help but want to teach this woman a meal. President, this little friend is an alchemist. Guanxi, who was on the side, was a human being, and his hair was empty. He immediately noticed something was wrong in the atmosphere, and he hurriedly stepped up to complete the battle. Alchemist? Is it possible that this pill was made by this kid himself? Sun Yingying muttered thoughtfully. I heard Zhang Tianbao said that this medicine of yours has the effect of improving martial arts talents. What is true? Sun Yingying seemed to have thought of something, her tone subconsciously slowed down a bit, but the eyes looking at Lin Feng still contained unconcealed suspicion. Lin Feng, who was still a little unconfident about the effect of his pill, when faced with the doubts of the savage woman in front of him, he didn't even think about it, and just blurted out, is it true or not? I will know at first try. If the effect is not good, I won't charge you a copper plate. It seemed that Sun Yingying was waiting for this sentence. Before she finished her words, she swallowed the zisui pill into her abdomen. The mouth of the zisui pill melted, and at the same time, Sun Yingying clearly felt a strange heat flowing down her throat to her dantian. Okay. Sun Yingying whispered and immediately guided her mind into her body. Looking inside, she quickly felt that as the heat flowed into the dantian, wisps of black qi continued to seep out of the dantian. After these black qi left the pubic area, they swarmed out from the kikiao on their own. During this process, Lin Feng and Zhang Guanqi both held their breaths, and did not dare to release the atmosphere. They clearly saw that Sun Yingying was making smoke at the moment, and that appearance looked extremely permeating. Fuck, shouldn't there be any accidents? Lin Feng subconsciously wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. Zisui pill is produced by the violent swallowing system, and it stands to reason that even if it is not effective, it will not cause people to die from poisoning. But what is happening in front of me really makes my heart feel a little fuzzy. On the contrary, the well-informed Zhang Guanqi was the first to discover the clues, and leaned forward to Lin Feng's ear and whispered, "Don't worry, my little friend, if I'm not mistaken, the president should have entered the rumors of cutting hair at this moment status." At the Tianyun auction house, the huge reception hall is now shrouded in a thick black mist. Under the odor of the black mist, Lin Feng almost fainted, and rushed toward the door. Zhang Guanqi followed closely, his fat body showed agility that was not commensurate with the size, and he rushed out abruptly before Lin Feng. "Little friend, this marrow pill, the effect is really overbearing." Guanqi glanced at the dark misty reception hall with lingering fears, his tone of shock was full of shock. After all, Lin Feng had never seen such a scene, so he was a little unsure, so he was about to ask a few questions. But at this moment, another figure rushed out. The figure was as fast as lightning, and disappeared from where it was just a blink of an eye, leaving only 2 words in the air. "Wait. Just wait." Lin Feng indifferent shrugged, but secretly thanked that he hadn't clashed with this woman before. Based on this woman's terrifying speed, he knew that he was not an enemy of the other party at all. Although this woman is arrogant, she also has arrogant capital. "Steward Zhang, your guild grower really comes and goes like wind. Waiting is the longest suffering." No matter left or right, Lin Feng seemed to smile casually, but in fact he was hitting sideways, trying to find out the relevant information of the woman. He had previously cast insight on the woman without a trace, and never thought that the all-inclusive insight would have lost its effect on this woman. Zhang Guanqi is a cunning, he can see Lin Feng's mind at a glance, but he doesn't break it. Instead, he smiles and says, "Don't look at the president's behavior, he is really heartwarming when he treats his own people, and he will never lose his own people." "Is it?" Seeing that this fat guy didn't seem to be disgusted with his inquiries, he simply didn't bother to go around, and smiled suddenly, "A female generation can run a large auction house. It's not easy for you to grow up. I don't know how strong she is." As soon as Guanqi heard these words, he immediately became energetic, and his face was even more glorious. He laughed and said, "Have you never heard the saying that women are not allowed to bear eyebrows? The president is a female generation. But her name, Sun Yingying, looks at the entire Qingfeng city. Who doesn't know, who doesn't?" As for the strength of the president, as early as 3 years ago, she reached the Nirvana realm great perfection, and she was only 1 step away from reaching the supreme fragmented sky realm. Have you heard of the ranking of the Tianyuan Empire? The president can be ranked first. Guanqi Zhang's expression was agitated, as if he was telling his heroic deeds, but before he could finish speaking, Sun Yingying had already appeared in a gust of wind, took his words in due course, and smiled indifferently. Top 5. Lin Feng was really taken aback by Sun Yingying's unconscious way of playing, especially after she uttered the words first 5 in an understatement. She couldn't help taking a breath. Guanqi Zhang was obviously also suppressed by the chairman's speaking wild words, and then he seemed to think of something suddenly, and almost blurted out, "Guild leader, have you already breakthrough?" Sun Yingying smiled and nodded. The next moment, she turned around suddenly, bowed deeply under Lin Feng's stunned gaze, and said in a deep voice, "Thank you for your grace." Lin Feng really didn't expect this woman to come out like this. It was too late to avoid it, so she could only accept the ceremony firmly, and smiled helplessly. What is Sun Girl doing? Counting it all, Sun Yingying's time from leaving to appearing was nothing more than a cup of tea, but it gave Lin Feng the illusion that she was a world away. When I saw this woman for the first time, her face was already beautiful. After washing the marrow pill, her appearance was even better. The skin on her face that can be broken by a bomb almost made him give birth to a kind that can only be far away. The sense of sight that can't be played. Your marrow pill is indeed magical. It has not only improved my cultivation talent, but also made a breakthrough in my martial art realm. Sun Yingying had a sincere tone, and she took out a small and exquisite silver ring from her arms while speaking. This is a space ring. There are some resources in the ring, so I will give you the right as a gift. If you have other requirements, please feel free to ask. Haven't eaten pork, have you ever seen a pig run? Although Lin Feng had never seen a space ring, he knew that this thing must be extremely precious. A marrow pill can be exchanged for a space ring, enough to make him wake up from a dream, not to mention there are resources in this ring. Can be described as a bit of resources by the dignified master of the sky-breaking realm. You can imagine how valuable the things in this ring are. Lin Feng is well versed in the principle of accepting as soon as he sees it, and he hastily took over the ring, and smiled openly, then cooperate happily. I hope I can continue to cooperate next time. Okay. If you have other medicines that need to be traded, even if you come to Tianyun auction house to find me, you will definitely not suffer in terms of price. Sun Yingying also smiled and nodded. Having personally experienced the magic of Zisui pill, she no longer despised Lin Feng, and replaced it with a sincere appreciation. If this marrow pill was obtained by Lin Feng accidentally, it would be nice to say that if it was really made by himself, then this person's future achievements will be limitless, and what Sun Yingying has to do is to give him some help when his wings are not yet full. She started from business and naturally knew that to make friends with a talented alchemist is definitely a lucrative investment. This transaction can be described as happy. After leaving the Tianyun auction house, Lin Feng immediately found a remote corner, ready to check the resources of the space ring. When the thought just passed into the silver ring in his hand, Lin Feng was dumbfounded. The first thing that catches your eye is a pile of clothes of different styles. What kind of plaid skirt, apron vest, and the like are all available? I'll go, this big sister Sun will not forget to clean up her personal belongings. Lin Feng secretly slandered himself, and quickly turned his attention to the other space of the ring. 5,000 high-grade spiritual stones. 100,000 middle-grade spiritual stones. Some low-grade spiritual stones. 5 pieces of top-grade spiritual tools. 10 pieces of only grade spiritual tools. 32 low-grade spiritual tools. Some purple gold stones, some black iron stones, some purple agates. The next resources did not disappoint Lin Feng, especially the bunch of spiritual weapons. These are all symbols of his own strength. Once these dozens of spiritual weapons have been refined, how strong will his strength be? When he thought of this, Lin Feng was so excited, he almost couldn't help but whistle up to the sky 3 times. However, just when he was ready to act on his thoughts, something happened suddenly. A rush of breaking the wind sounded from behind Lin Feng without any warning, and then a cold flashing steel knife mixed with monstrous might hit his head fiercely. It was also in this electric light and flint that Lin Feng had an extra profound iron long sword out of thin air, and the sword's edge turned around. It was actually dangerous to block this menacing slash. Lin Feng's trip to Qingfeng City was very rewarding. Not only did the martial art realm step into the first level of the Gigzu realm, but also a whole number of 10 spiritual weapons from Sun Yingying. Such a huge harvest naturally made him happy. However, there is an old saying that happiness creates sorrow. Just as Lin Feng was overjoyed, a targeted attack came quietly without any signs. Even at the moment when Lin Feng succeeded in blocking the attacker's decapitation, the whole person was still blown upside down by a huge impact, and he smashed through several walls in a row to stop it. The host suffered an external attack, and his health dropped by 200 points. The system prompts in the ears can't help but make Lin Feng's scalp numb for a while. Merely being retreated by the aftermath of the attack made him lose 200 points of blood. This is evident in the strength of this attacker. Without any hesitation, Lin Feng immediately cast Insight, and at the same time his figure flashed again and again, trying to get away from the opponent. Zhou Bufan, returned to the 9th level of the Ruins Realm, a mysterious assassin. Mysterious level assassin. On the contrary, the 9th floor of the Gigzu realm was second, but the identity of the other assassin made Lin Feng's heart sink. As the name suggests, assassins are a special profession that is good at assassination. They are like death gods living in the shadows, and they will launch a fatal blow at the target at any time. There is a well-known saying in the continent of gods and demons, never provoke an assassin. If unfortunately, there is only one assassin staring at him or her, you must either be killed or kill the opponent. Because these assassins are like bone gangrene, they will never stop until they reach their goals. Either you die, or I die. How could I be targeted by an assassin? Could it be Zhou Xiaoshan's revenge against me? Lin Feng secretly thought. However, Zhou Bufan on the other side obviously wouldn't give him too much time to think. He seemed to be a little surprised when one shot failed, but the killing intent in his eyes became more intense. Wow! The next moment, Zhou Bufan's figure shook, and the 7-foot steel knife in his hand stirred up gusts of wind, slashing towards Lin Feng's waist. This knife is so powerful that if it hits, Lin Feng specifies that it will be cut in a tragic end. At the moment of crisis, Lin Feng calmed down. He knew very well that if he was in chaos at this time, he would definitely have no chance of surviving. The brave wins if you meet on a narrow road. Only let it go, there is a chance. Kill! Lin Feng roared, facing Zhou Bufan's attack. He didn't retreat but instead moved forward. The mysterious iron sword in his hand drawn a dazzling sword light, and the flames cut instantly. Sulfuric acid. Accompanied by a harsh metal crash, two figures flew out at the same time. In the next instant, one of the inverted figures actually stopped the castration abruptly and flew toward the target at a speed that was as fast as thunder. Speed assault. It was not the more powerful Zhou Bufan who launched the attack first, it was Lin Feng. With the help of Flame/'s own knock-up effect, Lin Feng successfully pushed back from Zhou Bufan. At the same time, he launched an extremely fast assault, forcibly reversed the tendency of his body to fly backwards, and took the initiative to kill him. Dead. Lin Feng took advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to spin the mysterious iron sword in the air, and the tip of the sword pointed directly at the heart of the target. Lin Feng's grasp of the timing of this wave of counterattack is not imprecise. However, he still underestimated the true strength of a profound-level assassin. Seeing that the tip of the sword was about to plunge into Zhou Bufan's heart, at a critical moment, he forcibly changed his position with a weird and unpredictable posture, which defeated the sword that pointed at the heart, but left it on his left arm. A blood hole. Zhou Bufan didn't even look at the wound on his arm. With a steel knife in his hand, he turned around, healed his body with his own way, and cut his heart fiercely towards Lin Feng Gao. Zhou Bufan is ruthless to himself, Lin Feng is even more ruthless. In the face of this astonishing slash, he did not evade, but still wiped his sword towards the strong opponent's neck. It was completely a life-for-life style of play. Although Zhou Bufan was not disturbed, he immediately repeated his tricks, and his sturdy body was once again twisted strangely, avoiding this throat-cutting sword. At the same time, the toes touched the ground and quickly moved away from Lin Feng. What the assassin is best at is close hand-to-hand combat, but Zhou Bufan took the initiative to evade at this time, apparently he has already given up. Acting as a profound-level assassin, Zhou Bufan is well versed in the reason why a thorn misses a hit and immediately escapes. Moreover, the strength of the target and the ability to resist has made him extraordinary. What makes him feel even more palpitations is that the other party only left a blood hole in his arm before. Compared to a strong man of his level, this blood hole is only a skin wound at best, and it is impossible to leave substantial trauma. However, Zhou Bufan clearly felt that his state was very bad, not to mention apathy, even the martial arts cultivation level seemed to be reduced a bit. He didn't know that Lin Feng's previous flame slash and speed assault were the real damage of 10% of his target's maximum health. After eating these two ultimate moves, he not only lost 20% of his lifespan, but also lost 20% of his martial arts cultivation. In other words, these two ultimate moves take away 20 years of life, then his 20 years of martial arts cultivation will also be lost along with the lost lives. Carry on. Lin Feng Gao grabbed a sword flower in his spare time, in an eager posture. Zhou Bufan remained silent, but took a deep look at Lin Feng, as if to imprint this face in his mind, then his figure shook and disappeared from the place. Lin Feng did not relax his vigilance, his insight technique was always active. He didn't let out a sigh of breath until it was confirmed that the other party had really left. After a glance, he only had less than 300 blood points left, and Lin Feng couldn't help feeling a chill in his neck. Previously, he had resisted the opponent's heart-piercing blow, even if he was wearing the silk inner armor sent by the system, he almost killed him. The first time he took out a life potion to fill up his blood, Lin Feng took off the silk inner armor. He just glanced at it, and he was sweating coldly, and he breathed coldly over his head. The second half of this tough inner armor has been deeply sunken in a large piece, and even a part of the silk has been completely broken. It's Lao Tzu's, fortunately there is this inner armor, otherwise Lao Tzu is really going to die. Lin Feng Cao was very frightened, and had already made up his mind that she would never be able to do so much the next time she fights with people. This Nima's assessment of the enemy's damage is slightly different, and her own little life is about to go in. Enhance strength. Suppressing the distracting thoughts in his heart, Lin Feng immediately plunged into the crazy refining operation. Congratulations to the host for successfully refining the ultimate spiritual weapon Mysterious Golden Spear and gaining plus 10,000 profound energy. Congratulations to the host for successfully refining the best spirit weapon Wind Spirit Armor and gaining plus 10,000 profound energy. Congratulations to the host for successfully refining all the spiritual tools in the space ring in one breath. Lin Feng's body was shaken, and a powerful and unparalleled aura spurted from his body. Name, Lin Feng. Race, Terran level, the 9th floor of the Ruins Realm. Life, 4000 physical strength, 80% strength, 150 physique, 80 agility, 50 spirit, 5 perception, 5 talented supernatural powers, raging power special skills, insight, speed assault, flame slash, earth escape, frozen fist. After scanning his personal attributes, Lin Feng frowned slightly. He originally thought that after refining those spirit tools, he would have to break through to the golden body state no matter what, but he had only reached the 9th level of the return to the market state. After thinking about it, he was relieved. The martial art realm became more difficult to improve in the later stage. It was not long before he arrived in the gods and demons continent. He had already broken through the 9th level of the ruins realm from the body tempering realm. What else can he fault? If an outsider learns about his speed of increase, it is bound to stir up a 1,000-layer huge wave on the entire continent of god and demon. Now when confronted with that Zhou Bufan, I must let him die without a place to bury him. And Chen Weiner's couple of dogs, don't even try to escape. Lin Feng thought viciously. His only enemies in this divine demon continent are Zhou Xiaotian and Chen Wan'er. The reason why this mysterious assassin assassinated himself was most likely because of their instigation. I don't know if other assassins are looking at him besides Zhou Bufan. Lin Feng thought to himself. Such a big noise here has attracted the attention of many people. In order to avoid extra branches, he also volleyed a few times and disappeared from the place. Not long after Lin Feng walked on his feet, a team of well-trained city guards hurried over. The headed person looked solemn, his eyes flashed with cold light. Personal combat is prohibited in Qingfeng City. Who is so bold and dare to provoke the constitution of the empire? Check. Check it out. At almost the same time, Zhou Xiaotian, who was far away in the magical gate, also received Zhou Bufen's Fijian transmission. Trash. A bunch of trash. After reading the message, Zhou Xiaotian seemed to swallow a live fly, his face was so gloomy that it almost dripped water. Lin Feng. Lao Tzu is a small man. Zhou Xiaotian took a deep breath, finally calming down a bit of restlessness. After learning of Wang Luan's tragic death and even the whereabouts of the heaven-shaking seal was unknown, Zhou Xiaotian immediately contacted the Shadow Department and spent a lot of money to invite a mysterious level assassin to kill Lin Feng forever. I never thought about the silence of the uncle assassin for half a month, but today he suddenly took the initiative to contact him and bluntly said that he would give up this assassination mission. The Shadow Ministry is not the most efficient assassination organization, and even threatened that once it takes over the task, it will be effective forever and will never give up. Zhou Xiaotian was so angry that he immediately contacted Zhou Wu, the young master of the Shadow Department, and said, "What do you mean by the Shadow Department?" Zhou Wu didn't seem to be annoyed, and Fijian directly replied, "It's meaningless, we won't take your task." Why? No comment. Then the reward should always be returned to me, right? After waiting for a long time, the other party did not respond. Zhou Xiaotian smiled bitterly and shook his head. He also knew that the money he had put into the Shadow Department's pocket wanted them to spit it out again, and the possibility was almost zero. What makes him puzzled is, what is the reason that the Shadow Department will give up assassinating Lin Feng even if its reputation is damaged? It seems that there are some unknown secrets hidden in the young master of the Lin family. Zhou Xiaotian chuckled lightly, but there was no slight smile in his eyes. Instead, there was a violent and murderous intent that was too strong to be overcome. The words are divided into two ends. After Lin Feng left the small alley, he walked into a high-end restaurant, ready to treat his 5 internal organs temple. Although practitioners can live fast and will not starve to death without eating, no one can resist the temptation of delicious delicacies in the world. At least Lin Feng couldn't do it. Of course, the reason for choosing to eat in a restaurant is to get familiar with the regulations here, besides tasting food. When Lin Feng first arrived, he is not clear about the rules of Qingfeng City. The restaurant is undoubtedly the best choice for inquiring about the news. After a few glasses of wine, Lin Feng quickly heard several interesting news. The first one was the slaughter in Zhuwei Hutong not long ago. It is said that it has attracted the attention of the military and is still being inspected closely. This so-called fighting incident, counting the time, isn't it just the battle between yourself and Zhou Bufen? The second news is that the Ancient Alchemy Association in the extreme west of Qingfeng City will recruit a group of alchemists in the near future. Anyone under the age of 30 can sign up. Finally, there is the royal family of the Tianyan Empire. The second Princess Qin Wushuan will rush to Qingfeng City in the near future to recruit a group of passionate young people to be elected to the Imperial Guards, in the name of consolidating the imperial authority. For the Royal Guards, Lin Feng is not very interested, it is the Ancient Pill Alchemy Association that really puts him in mind. He who has tasted the sweetness from Sun Ying, naturally knows that the alchemist is sweet, and it is definitely the best way to make a fortune. In other words, for the recruitment of the Ancient Pill Alchemy Association, besides the age must not be higher than 30, do you have other requirements? Lin Feng carried a few pots of good wine to another table with a smile, and proactively spoke. As the saying goes, you don't hit the smiley person with your hand, and the person at the wine table is not showing up. It just so happened that there was still an empty seat at this table. One of the big bearded guys stretched out his hand to signal Lin Feng to sit down and talk, then shook his head and smiled bitterly. Naturally, not everyone can enter. If you want to enter the Ancient Style Alchemy Association, you must have a certain amount of alchemy talent. Secondly, we also look at the background forces. I don't need to say more about this, right? Lin Feng nodded slightly. Where there are people, there are rivers and lakes. He still understands this kind of accident. To speak of martial arts talent, he is naturally not ashamed as the 9th rank. But his alchemy talent? Lin Feng hadn't tested it, so naturally he didn't know how talented alchemy was. With a smile, he put the hip flask in his hand in front of the beard and the other 2 people at the wine table. Lin Feng said meaningfully, alchemists are very popular. If I can become an alchemist, I will be able to become an emperor in the future. Isn't that what? The 3 bearded people also nodded in agreement. After a moment of silence, the bearded man said again, looking at the young friend's young age, his strength is already good, and he has a good background, right? Lin Feng, who had suffered a loss in the Heavenly Luck auction house, had already used Heaven's secret technique to control his cultivation base on the 9th level of the concentration realm. For a proud child like Zhou Xiaotian, the 9th level of the concentration realm is naturally not worth mentioning. But in the eyes of this bearded man, his strength is indeed not weak. I have a lonely family, and the whole family is not hungry. Lin Feng shook his head. It's strange to say that he was an orphan on Earth in his previous life, and now he has traveled to the continent of the gods and demons, and there is no one left in his family. The bearded Phaeton didn't say anything to comfort him. Instead, he patted his shoulder vigorously. He laughed and said, "So, you are like us, you are in casual cultivator. Who is a fellow traveler with you guys? Lord Lin has a system." Lin Feng was slanderous in his heart, but with a smile on his face, he raised the hip flask and laughed loudly, "I'm a casual cultivator. Go on." The bearded people are also outrageous, and they take a swig when they pick up the hip flask. After drinking 3 rounds, Lin Feng also knew that the bearded man was named Hu Tao, and the other 2 were named Fat Tiger and Thin Monkey. As the name suggests, the man named Peng He has a sturdy back, and he has seen it for more than 200 years. The skinny monkey looked like a stick, as if a gust of wind could blow him away. Hu Tao and the 3 are all veterans who have retired from the army. The martial arts level is not high, but the combat experience is very rich. Lin Feng, listen to what you mean. Do you really want to go to the Gufeng Alchemy Association to try your luck? Hu Tao slapped Lin Feng's shoulder vigorously, and his tongue was not smooth. Obviously, he drank the wine. Lin Feng also drank a lot of wine, but still sane, smiled and nodded and said, "Naturally want to try it, what if it is done? The Gufeng Alchemy Association is not close to here, anyway, brothers have nothing to do. If you don't think we are an eyesore, how many brothers will accompany you after eating this wine?" Hu Tao and his companions looked at each other and smiled. Lin Feng was unfamiliar with his life, so he was naturally happy to see the result, and immediately said, "Then bother a few older brothers." After eating and drinking, Lin Feng Zheng wanted to pay for the drinks with the 3 of Hu Tao. I never thought that these 3 people were unwilling to live and die, and only said that their brothers had settled their accounts, and they could not be less than a copper plate for how much they should pay. What else to say, if Lin Feng, you are out of luck, and you really get into the Ancient Pill Alchemy Association, how can you be a poor person? Not to mention other things, it's good to keep a little money and buy a few alchemy materials for yourself. Listening to these drunken silly words, Lin Feng said nothing, but his heart was warm. Although the arena is sinister, there is no shortage of enthusiastic men like Hu Tao. Having said that, they are willing to shed blood for the empire, how can their quality and temperament be bad? A group of 4 people walked together, and the oncoming breeze also dissipated their drunkenness a bit. Lin Feng, the west of Qingfeng City is not as stable as ours. There are robbers along the way, so remember not to be careless. Hu Tao walked in front without a trace, his sharp eyes swept around from time to time, and he reminded Lin Feng to cheer up. It has been several hours since I came out of the restaurant, and now Lin Feng and the four have come to a vast plain. After stepping on this plain and walking 20 miles of mountain roads, they will reach the Ancient Wind Alchemy Association. From this we can also see how vast the area of Qingfeng City is. Roger that. Lin Feng Shen nodded, and he understood why the three of Hu Tao had to accompany him on this trip. Obviously, he was worried that he had encountered Xiao Xiao lunatic on the way to the Ancient Alchemy Association. There is movement. Lin Feng stopped abruptly, and at the same time motioned to Hu Tao and the three to keep quiet. In the perception of insight, he vaguely sensed something wrong. With the growth of strength, insight has also been promoted from the original yellow level to the mysterious level, and the range of perception has been greatly improved. Originally it could only sense things within 5 meters, but at this moment it has skyrocketed to 500 meters. Within the range of perception, although no half-person figure was captured, some strange creatures appeared from all directions from time to time. These creatures seem chaotic, but Lin Feng has a vague intuition that they are coming for his party. It turns out that his instincts are not wrong. However, within a few breaths, dozens of strange creatures have appeared around, and more creatures are constantly approaching further away. These are the Black Spirit Dogs. The people of the Yuling gang are already eyeing us. Get out! After seeing these creatures, the faces of the three Hu Tao suddenly changed, and they were about to pull Lin Feng Yuan Road back. That's too late. Lin Feng shook his head. Sure enough, before the voice was over, a group of people in black had already come from behind without knowing it. Papa! This line of people in black touched about 20 people, but the head of the line was a glamorous young woman in her 30s. At this moment, the young woman glanced at the four small prey in front of her with interest, and finally put her gaze on Lin Feng, smiling and saying, "You little devil is a little bit funny, how did you find us? It might be forgiving. You have a small life." Yuling gang is to use the word Yuling to create a prestigious name, and the so-called Yuling, as the name implies, is to control the spirit beast with their own thoughts, and they can know all the vision of the spirit beast. Xia Ruyi had already seen everything that happened before through the eyes of the spirit beast. Lin Feng didn't say anything, but just lightly swept the black men in front of him. The strength of these men in black is very strong, the weakest are the returned to the market realm. The young woman headed by it even reached the 3rd level of the golden body. Lin Feng, you go first. We old guys will break it for you. Hu Tao and several of them are old comrades in arms, and one look can understand each other's intentions. Obviously they already know how bad this is going, they only hope to hold the other side down and escape one by one. This happened because of me. What if I run away? Lin Feng shook his head, then looked at the young woman, but said, I will give you 2,000 high-grade spirit stones and let them go, how about? As soon as she said this, she didn't have to wait for Xia Ruyi to speak. The subordinate who had always been 2 steps behind her laughed strangely, "GG. I'm afraid I haven't heard the name of Yuling gang before, right? The Yuling gang not only robs people of money, but also lives. There is no precedent for being alive by my Yuling gang." Lin Feng's face was dark, thinking that Hu Tao and the three were recognizing that they were the Yuling gang. The first thought was to escape. Seeing the pale and bleak faces of the 3 Hu Taos at this time, he knew that what the other party said was true. It seems that I took it for granted, subconsciously confused the bloodthirsty mad here with the ordinary robbers in the previous life. Chopping the grass without removing the roots, the spring breeze blows again. Since this Yuling gang is still alive and kicking, since it has a bad name, all it depends on is to stifle all future troubles in the cradle. Lin Feng thoughtfully, the mysterious iron sword in his hand appeared out of thin air, grinned and said, "It seems that there is no more to talk about." Before he finished his words, Lin Feng turned into an afterimage. The speed assault was launched instantly, and the target was Xia Ruyi. The speed assault has its own locking effect. As long as the target appears within his perception range, once the speed assault is performed, he can instantly appear on the side of the target. Wow! Under the stunned Xia Ruyi and the dumbfounded gaze of the people in black including Hu Tao, Lin Feng instantly disappeared from the place, and the next moment he appeared out of thin air behind Xia Ruyi. At the same time, a 7-foot-long sword that shone with cold light was mixed with an indomitable momentum, and slashed towards Xia Ruyi, who was inexplicably shocked. No one would have thought that Lin Feng would say that he would do it right away, and the bursting strength was more powerful than the surface. Xia Ruyi was about to be cut on the spot. It was in this electric light and flint that the subordinate who had been sticking behind Xia Ruyi narrowed his eyes. Almost as Lin Feng launched an attack, his eyes suddenly burst out with 2 cyan light beams visible to the naked eye. Fuck! Laser beam! Lin Feng's heart jumped. He knew that this sword could kill Xia Ruyi on the spot, but he himself could be penetrated by these 2 terrifying light beams. Despite his helplessness, Lin Feng could only temporarily change his moves. He tried his best to reverse the shot that avoided the beam. The mysterious iron sword in his hand also changed from a crosscut to a slash, and he directly hit Xia Ruyi's lower abdomen. Die me! The black-clothed man with beams of light from his eyes was so angry that he roared, carrying 100 steel knives, and he went towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng is using old moves at the moment, and it is too late to dodge, so he can barely use his sword to block. One of the 2 sides was ready to go, and the other was caught off guard. Under the circumstances, Lin Feng was directly blasted by the thunder for dozens of feet. Until this time, Xia Ruyi, who had escaped from the dead, finally returned to his soul. His eyes flashed with infinite violence, and he roared, "What do you still pester and do? Give me all! Kill them, don't leave one!" A group of people in black just woke up like a dream, and screamed and killed the 3 of Hu Tao. As for the weird boy, naturally the deputy hall master Zhou Dong left to deal with it. "Brothers, get ready to fight hard." Hu Tao was not afraid, even Xiangxin grinned with 2 old comrades beside him. "Kill them! Kill 1 without losing, kill 2 and make a profit." Fat Tiger and Lean Monkey used actions to show their attitudes. Faced with a siege of more than 20 people, they did not retreat but instead advanced, and took the initiative to deceive and rush into the crowd. "Fuck! This happened because of me, and you must not hurt Brother Hu and them." When Lin Feng witnessed this scene with his own eyes, he was so anxious that he forcibly stopped the trend of flying backwards, and muttered silently, "The power of violent anger, activate for Lao Tzu." OM. In an instant, a powerful and unparalleled aura spewed out of Lin Feng's body. Once the power of rage is activated, whether it is strength, agility, or defensive ability, you will get a full triple bonus. The tiger doesn't show off his might, I really treat me as a sick cat. Lin Feng's eyes flashed with cold light. He didn't cause trouble, but when trouble found him, he would naturally not be merciful. Rage power is his biggest trump card. He doesn't want to be exposed to others' sight too early. Even if he faced Zhou Bufan that day, he also chose to forbear. But at this moment, the situation is urgent, and it is already related to the life of the 3 brothers Hu, so he will naturally not hide himself. Lin Feng's martial arts realm originally reached the 9th level of the Gigzu realm, but now it has skyrocketed 3 times faster. How fast is that speed? The toes suddenly hit the ground, and Lin Feng instantly came to Zhou Dongli's side, and cut off his neck without even giving him time to react. Hiss! The unthinkable scene in front of me directly stunned everyone present on the spot, and everyone had an illusion of being in a dream. This boy, how can he be so strong? Xia Ruyi was also dumbfounded. At this moment, she finally realized that she had kicked the iron plate, and she was still a 1,000-year-old mysterious iron-level hard plate. Escape! Disperse and escape! I don't know who yelled this sentence. Then everyone in the Yuling gang, including Xia Ruyi, used their hands and feet together, running around with all their strength, only hating their parents for not being able to give birth to a pair of legs. Lin Feng, can't let them run away. Hu Tao shouted loudly. He knew better than anyone else. If these people of the Yuling gang were allowed to escape at this time, the next thing to greet them would be the crazy revenge of the Yuling gang. The Yuling gang is powerful, far more than the 20th and 30th people in front of them. As far as Hu Tao knows, there are no less than 5 transcendent powerhouses. It is said that the strength of the leader of Yuling gang has reached nirvana.